trouble. And boy, I found her. She's in love with herself. Grey Wolf Studios.
What's up, guys? It's me, Grey Wolf, back here to do another video for you. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to be taking the Flysky FS-TH9X, which is also the same thing that Hobby King. This one came from hobbyparts.com. It's also basically the same. It's the same exact transmitter that also comes from Hobby King under the Turnigy 9X name. Anyway, today I'm going to be installing a backlight for the LCD screen, because for some reason they decided to not include one, which really blows. So anyway, let's just get started here. First thing you're going to have to do is unscrew the 6 screws. There's 2 here at the top, 2 here on the sides, and 2 here on the bottom. Now, I've already removed my screws from mine, so I'm just going to go ahead and take this apart. And the first thing you'll notice, is there is a wire harness here that connects the back to the front. You're just going to go ahead and unplug that. It is kind of difficult to unplug, especially the first time you do it. I've already had mine apart a couple times, so mine's not that bad. Now, if you're interested, I do have other videos on how to mod this particular transmitter. I have a video for a LiPo mod, just like I've done with my Flysky GT3B. I've also modded this one to take a 3-cell 2200 milliamp LiPo, and you can look up my video on my channel for that if you're interested. And just like I do in my Flysky GT3B, I also have mounted a low voltage checker for the LiPo battery, so I know when it's getting, I believe this particular one alarms at 3.3 volts per cell. I don't know about this particular transmitter because I haven't used it enough yet, but I know like the Flysky GT3B, which is the transmitter, it's one of the probably the most popular budget transmitter out there. A lot of people have modded those for LiPo use, and the stock settings don't alarm until your voltage is down to I believe it's 9 volts, which is 3.0 volts per cell on a 3-cell LiPo, and that's just a little bit lower than I like to push it. You can use it. 3.0 will not damage your cells, but I find that these here, not only do they not, these little alarms here, not only do they not let it run down quite so low, they are also extremely loud. You will definitely know if you accidentally leave your transmitter on if you got one of these guys hooked up. The low voltage alarm on the Flysky is definitely audible, but not like this. So anyway, I've got a separate video on how to on how the parts and the how-to and everything that you need to the low voltage alarm for this as well. But anyway, that's enough about the other mods that I've done to it. We're going to set the back half aside for now because we don't need it. What we're going to be dealing with here is, zoom in here some so you can see what I'm doing better. I'm also going to try to level out this camera a little bit. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is the wire harness just to the right of the one that you unplugged, this one right here. You're going to go ahead and unplug this one as well. And that one doesn't seem to be nearly as difficult to get out of there as the first wire harness. The big wire harness that connects to the back is quite difficult to take out, actually. At least it was for me. So anyway, then at this point what we need to do is we need to remove the screws that hold this circuit board, this lower circuit board right here down. Alright, let's see. Oh, yes. Okay, so now the board's coming up. So you do have to remove the black screws. Now it looks like my buttons on the what would that be, the front right of the transmitter actually came up with the board, so I'm just going to place those back in their holes here. And now what we have is this. This is our LCD screen right here, which the silver thing down here is our LCD screen, which we want to be very careful with. And I'm going to try not to even lift that up out of place. Now this black piece of foam right here has to be removed. So we're just going to carefully peel this up. And this is glued down, it appears to be glued down using a fairly strong adhesive. So I'm just going to be really cautious here. Try to peel this up without, hopefully without leaving any of the sticky residue behind, but I don't know if that's going to be, it doesn't look like it's going to be entirely possible. There we go. Piece of foam. Now I'm going to use a little bit of, set that foam aside there. I'm assuming you can actually probably throw this foam away because the light kit actually has a separate thinner piece of foam that you have to lay down. But anyway, I'm going to take some in here. I have some denatured alcohol, which should be safe for my electronics, and I'm going to try to get the rest of that residue up here. There does appear to be a great deal of dust and crap down inside this, so I'm just going to blow it out real quick with some compressed air. Okay. I don't know what these little specks of black crap is on the back of this LCD screen, but just going to brush those off of there. Now, put my cleaning stuff up. Okay, so now we're going to take our little kit here. I got this from Hobby King. It's a backlight specifically for the Turnigy 9X, which is, I don't know which one's rebranded from what, but the Turnigy 9X and the Flysky FS-TH9X are the same controller. So I bought this from Hobby King, but it'll work on the Flysky as well as the Turnigy 9X. And it's actually the cheapest place I found to buy it was actually Hobby King. I looked around on eBay, and eBay has them. Hobby King, I believe, I want to say this was either $7.99 or $8.99. So it was either $8 or $9, plus I want to say it was about $4 shipping. So I think I got it for 12 or 13 bucks, something like that. I think the cheapest one I could find on eBay was, I want to say 17 or 18 bucks. And everywhere else they were like 25. So definitely buy it from Hobby King. And this particular one I got is green. Hobby King actually does have 3 different colors. They have a green, a blue, and a white. Now here is our thinner, smaller pad. Now this pad here is kind of mashed down. You can kind of see if you compare the corners here. This other pad is substantially thinner. In fact, it's about half the height of the original. And I'm just going to peel the sticky stuff off the back of here. And I'm going to apply it where the old one was. And it's not quite as wide as the old one, so I'm trying to kind of line it up right in the middle of where the old one was. Just gonna push it down there real good. Well, not real hard, but hard enough to get it down in there. Then we need to take the backlight itself. So now what we're going to do, we have our thinner foam pad in place down here. Let's zoom in again. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our backlit plate, and we're going to actually put this wire up underneath this PCB board. And essentially you're just going to pull it up through here from behind the board. And I am actually going to, if you look at the directions on Hobby King's website, they actually have the red and black wires on the backlit plate coming out the other side. I'm going to put it down here. Let's see if I can get a good picture of this. So I'm basically going to put it down here like this with the red and black wire coming off the left hand side. Now if you look at Hobby King's website's directions, it actually shows it installed with the wires on the other side here, but the wires are actually in the way of your 4-button selector switch here. So I'm actually going to flip it around the other way. I happen to know that this works already because I've seen other videos where people have done this same exact thing. So now what I'm going to do, if you can see this, see how the red and black wires from the backlit or the backlight right here kind of lay over top of it. I'm actually going to just kind of tuck those down behind the backlight temporarily. Because now what we're going to do is we're actually going to take a piece of double-sided tape. They say to use, Hobby King's website says to use a piece of regular double-sided tape. I don't have any regular double-sided tape, so I'm actually going to use 2 very small pieces of servo tape on either end of it, just to hold it in place once we put this circuit board back down on top of it. So I've got some servo tape here. So cut a couple of small little pieces. About like this. I'm gonna cut 2 of these, one for each side of the screen, or the backlight rather. Make sure your backlight is positioned correctly. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter for this aspect of it, but there's one on that side. I'm just going to hold that circuit board up out of the way. Sorry, my hand's in the way, but I cut another small piece of servo tape here because I don't want that circuit board to lay down there and touch the double-sided tape until after I'm done. I'm ready to put it back together. I'm hoping the servo tape doesn't make it too thick. So before I put the circuit board back down on top of the backlight, I'm just going to line this backlight up exactly where I want it to be. Which is about right there. So now once you have your tape in place and you have the backlight perfectly in place, then carefully put this circuit board back into place so that it tapes itself to the circuit board exactly where it needs to be. Alright, so now that we have that in place, we're going to take the the male part. There's a male and a female end to, there's a female end down here to this backlight. We're going to plug the male in, or we're going to plug the original wire loom that was plugged in on the right side, or the second wire loom or wire harness, whatever you want to call it, that we pulled out. We want to plug that into the female end of the light. And then we're going to plug the male end of the light back in to where the original wire harness went. Actually, you may want to screw your circuit board down first. One seems to be wanting to come up. As I'm trying to plug this stuff back in. So before I go any further, I'm just going to go ahead and put these screws back in. Now I can tell you, while I'm sitting here screwing all this stuff back together, I can tell you from what I just saw when I turned it on, and I'll show you guys here in a minute once I get everything buttoned back up. But I can tell you that where I put the ideal thing to do here in terms of the double-sided tape would actually be to use clear double-sided tape, the thin like 3M or Scotch stuff, because I can tell you from what I just saw that where I put those two small strips of black tape, even though I put the strips behind the LED panel, you can actually still see some slight indications. Oops, sorry, I'm sitting here covering up what I'm doing. You guys can't even see. Not that it really matters. All I'm doing is screwing all the screws back into place. But anyway, I can definitely see where I put the two small pieces of servo tape. It's just, it's pretty faint marks, or I don't know, little smudges or whatever you want to call it on the screen. But it can be seen. It's not enough to make me worry about it or anything like that. Now I'll just plug this wire harness from the back into that board. And now I can put the two halves back together. And I can put these screws back in now. So why don't you sit back and relax and listen to a little bit of Benny Hill for a second. Okay, now I'm going to take my 3-cell LiPo that I bought specifically for this, and I'm going to plug it in here. And if I were going to use it, I would plug the alarm in to the balance port. As I mentioned earlier, it is quite loud. And I'm just going to tuck the battery down in here along with the connectors. They do have to be kind of tucked down in there, but they will fit. Okay, so I've turned the lights out so you guys can hopefully see this better. But there it is. Now, on my laptop, maybe it'll look different when I actually get on my big computer to edit this, but on my laptop, the screen actually looks like it's a much lighter shade of green than what I'm actually seeing with my eyes. My eyes are making it look like it's actually it's a rather dark green, but it's definitely, in low light situations, it's definitely highly visible now, unlike before. Make sure all my buttons are working here. Yep. So anyway, that's all there is to it. And if you have any questions or comments, you can get a hold of me one of two ways. You can either go to my Facebook page at www.facebook.com/GrayWolfStudios74, or you can send me an email at graywolfstudios74@gmail.com. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll be back with more videos. Peace.